Hot Springs, the weekly television show that brings you everything about Hot Springs, past, present, and future. The show's about to begin, so if you don't mind, make sure you share this show on Facebook or YouTube with one of your great social media friends. And now it's time for Hello Hot Springs. And we are live. Hey! And we are here with a bunch of people. You hear a bunch of clapping. Of course, my name is John Cooksey. And welcome to Hello Hot Springs Roundtable, which is a slightly different version of Hello Hot Springs. We decided to go into the podcasting realm. And as a result of going into the podcasting realm, we're going to break off and do some other shows. But this is a good test subject, first night of doing it like this. What do you think?
Well, it's the first I've heard about it. I think it's great.
You look, oh, come on. You heard about it about 5 days ago.
The podcast.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
super.
And you could talk close to that mic
Okay.
there. Hello. Yeah. And so we're going to try this. And we got a bunch of people here. As a matter of fact, we have Grace and Alejandro from the Central Theater Teen Players. Let's give them a big round of applause. Wave there. And then we also have Jaylene, who's a very woman about the world and different things around town, intelligent, and we're going to be using her to talk about a bunch of different things in town. And then let's see if we can get a shot of Alan over here. Alan Hale. Yeah, Alan, wave for a minute. There we go. There's Alan right there.
Got it.
And he's also a real estate agent and was one of the people that pushed us to do a podcast format, right? Yeah. And then also we have Havla over here is going to talk about some biking and different things. And she works with Hello Hot Springs. And then we're back to Lydia here. And we have Lee Campbell coming in a little bit later. So lots of fun. So let's talk about stuff going on in town.
Oh my goodness, the whole paper is filled with stuff.
I know,
on.
there's too much stuff. But we got to start somewhere. First thing I want to say is that the book on the IQ Zoo came out with Jimmy Clowers, which is grandfather of Grace.
My dad.
Yeah, well, tell us something.
Grandpa.
Tell us something about that book.
It's super interesting and fun. You got to read it. And I love the pictures, especially because I couldn't be there during that time because, I wasn't thought of yet. And you see all this history, and it's so fun and historical.
And then tell us where they can get the book, because you work where they can get the book.
State and Pride Provisions. It's one of the best stores on the row because they have really pretty people who work there.
Bathhouse Row. Yeah.
And then you can also get it on our website, zoowithiq.com, and Amazon.
Excellent. And while we still have you on, let's talk about the Central Theater Teen Players. And both of you guys want to talk about that. Move a little closer so we can maybe get both of you on the camera at the same time. Yeah. So what can you tell us about the Central Teen Theater Players? Did I say that right?
Central Theater Teen Players.
Central Theater Teen Players. It's a mouthful. So we are doing the show December 20th and 21st. You should like the Central Theater Teen Players page if you can remember that. And keep up with updates and stuff. We're just releasing pictures. We're doing rehearsals now. It's going to be really, really good. He's in it. I wrote it and I'm directing it. And he is the character. His character I wrote after Norman Bates. My favorite character ever.
Wow.
And he does a really good job. Everybody in the cast does a great job. It's super scary and
What's the
it's really good.
play called?
Live Hitchcock.
Live Hitchcock. All right.
Great.
And so they need to go to your Facebook page and say it again for everybody.
Central Theater Teen Players.
So
give it a like.
What percent of people were teens in the show?
Oh, all of them. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Including that one.
And how did you get involved? You can close to the mic.
Well, I do a lot of the pocket theater,
Mhm.
and I like the acting, and I do all kinds of entertainment. And I saw her audition open, and a few of my friends were gonna go, so I just told myself to go up there. And when I went in, I just did what I do, and she said, "You have it." And I was like, "Oh, thank you very much."
Oh,
so
excellent.
exciting.
Yeah, that is really good. Well, we all hope to be out there and see this wonderful play, talk it up with people, and any way that we can help promote it before it comes up, we'll spread the word.
Definitely.
So, all right. Well, thank you guys for being here on the show today. We really appreciate it. And we want to talk briefly about one of our sponsors, Peter's Flooring and Paint here at 1217 Malvern. They are having a 50% off window treatments for the next few weeks, folks. Get on down there.
Friday
And
sale,
Black
yeah.
Friday sales on flooring, like amazing. They're clearing out a bunch of flooring. Got to make
Great deals.
room for
And
the
they
new stuff.
deliver.
Yeah, yeah. So let's take a look at that piece, and we will be right back to talk about other cool stuff in town.
You know, I've lived here all my life, and it's really grown. You know, I don't see it growing like people from, outside do, because we're here pretty much every day, but the way it's grown, it's just an amazing town. I mean, it's an amazing place. I couldn't imagine living anywhere else, and I feel fortunate. Several of our children live here as well, and I feel really fortunate that they can live here too. We have great schools, great education, we have fantastic health care. Our tourism economy is fantastic, so it's just a great place to live. Couldn't imagine anywhere else. Hey, for new folks coming to town, we'd come in, we'd be happy to see you. We will show you all the array of products that we have. Our sales staff will work one-on-one with you to be sure that you get just the right product. If we need to go to your job site or your house, that's no problem. We're happy to do that. And we'll just take care of you and fix you up and be sure you're happy with the product you purchase from us.
All right, we are back.
Yay.
Lydia, tell us about some of the stuff coming up in Hot Springs,
Well,
Arkansas.
We've got the chili cook-off, which is a fun favorite yearly. Am I close enough?
Yeah, you're
Annual.
close enough.
And Jaylene, you said what year is this? How many years have we done it?
I'm not sure. I thought
Oh,
it was the 26th year.
Mercy. It's only $5. It's at the Exchange Street
Yeah.
parking garage.
It's 4:30 in the afternoon.
4:30. We entered it last year, and I wanted to again, but it didn't happen.
But
Who
maybe
did you
next
enter
year.
under?
Under Peter's
What?
Flooring and
Oh,
Paint.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, and the owner of
I judged
Old
it last
Crow.
year.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Sorry. Well, thanks.
Or I helped participate.
The Old Crow Chili Mercantile Parlor
Right.
place. He won last year, or he won a couple years
He's
ago.
doing it again this year.
Yeah, that's
As a matter of
exciting.
fact, they have 31 people now. There's still room enough for maybe one or two more.
Oh,
so
is
they're
it
going
not
to
too
have.
late to sign up?
I think maybe like
think
by
I missed
tomorrow
it.
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, they have 31 right now. I think they're going to line up 32 or 33. And what's nice is all the money that's raised goes to
Lighting up
lighting up
downtown.
downtown, and because it's the Hot Springs, the downtown association down there, and they are doing a wonderful job. Really taking that money and investing in the lighting and improving down there
I
and
love
everything.
it. And don't they? Isn't that the night that they actually turn the lights on?
Yeah. Yep. So
It's
it's
exciting.
yeah, and
Wear
so
your warm clothes.
yeah, it
Yes,
could
it
be.
was
It was
freezing,
freezing
but
last
chilly.
year, and it will
chilly,
be freezing this
yeah.
year.
Yeah, it warms you up. It's
I
so
mean,
much fun.
everybody's got to go to that. They are one of the sponsors for this show for this month, so I just legally want to clear that off. But it's a wonderful $5. Where are you going to get?
Yeah.
31 different kinds of chili.
So
Come
good.
on,
Get
yeah.
tons.
And they have
Yes.
traditional and non-traditional chili.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now tell the difference between there.
Beans,
The non-traditional, I had a sample of that today. Did you have it, John? Chicken. It was
Yeah.
a chicken chili. It was really good.
Yeah.
One has beans and one, I think,
The
does
traditional
not have.
has no beans.
Right.
Traditional is just what, hamburger meat.
So
beef?
for the
They've
people,
got all different kinds of meats. They add like chicken, deer, turkey,
Yeah,
tofu
and for-
one year.
and kidney beans. Yeah, that's right. That's where I grew up. Now,
I'm a Yankee,
for
so
those
I
who-
have kidney beans in my chili.
yeah, me too. So I would push them aside. Those in lima beans.
I don't know. To some people, them's fighting words.
Oh,
Yes,
You're not
yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to be
It's
having
so
beans
serious.
in your
Yeah.
chili. No.
That's why they had to cut
Yeah.
it into two categories.
By the way, you know what I miss about up north? Snowball fights. Do you remember that? Oh my gosh, all the time. I was
Okay,
like,
my favorite place to go is Dirt Cheap, and
Yeah.
they have tons of like paint in the snow kits
Oh, yeah?
and snow shovels, and I'm like,
yeah.
those
I
are
love
flying
Dirt
off
Cheap,
the
but I get
shelves.
some
I don't
anxiety
think
walking
so.
in there.
Really?
They need some organization in that
Yeah.
store.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love
no.
it, but it's just like they
Yeah, I
just put
know.
a dump truck.
Yeah.
Dump it.
For real, it's a
Which
problem.
is great. I'm like, yeah, good deals. And then some days I'm like,
Digging
this is
through.
too much.
You have to be in the mood.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
For
Dirt
dumpster
cheap,
diving.
Yeah,
Or
I'm
don't
going
try.
tomorrow. We go
I'm
every
going
Wednesday.
tomorrow.
I get the alerts on my phone. I'm a
No,
serious.
there's
Dirt
alerts?
Cheap. Oh yes.
Dirt
He's
cheap.
upset. He's like,
Yeah.
what? Give me the
Deal,
details.
Deal finder. Oh, it's great. You stick with the
She'll be
kids, they'll
leaving
go
halfway
places.
during the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the late night dirt cheap.
And so for those of people that are thinking of moving into town, this is what the crazy people in town are like, all the people here, including Grace and Alejandro. And we're going to be rotating the staff, the group out every week, little bits variation. Nothing to do with how everybody is here. We just have a lot of people in town, and if you want to be on the show, just let us know. But I want to talk about the chili cook-off for those who've never moved here. What does it look like? We have footage from last year. Let's take a look at that.
begun.
Oh my goodness, that's
And we're
I
back.
can't wait to go
Everybody in
back.
town's got to go to the chili cook-off, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's the way it is. By the way, speaking of chili, what is the deal with the weather these days? Maybe you can help me with this, Bob. When you watch the news, right? All they put down is wind chills now. It says at the top wind chills. They're not even putting the regular temperatures. What is that? Trying to scare everybody? I don't even. Oh my gosh, my negative 19.
Yeah.
I just think that's wrong. I'm sorry. We
Did
gotta.
anybody else grow up thinking they were saying windshields?
No.
I
was
might.
like,
I
what's the
know.
wind- I was like, what's the windshield
All right,
temperature?
hey, let's talk-
I can relate. I relate to that.
All right, let's talk. Wait.
Well,
I
since
don't-
it's
yeah.
so cold outside, tell us about
Yeah.
the new rooftop bar in town
Wait,
while we sip our
I want to ask about the
mocktails.
windshield thing. All right, things that we thought growing up were a certain way, and then they were different. So you thought windshields was.
Have you driven a Ford Blakely? I knew people named the Blakeleys,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought that was the commercial. Have you driven a Ford Blakely?
All right, what about you guys?
lately.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Like there's a bathroom on the right. Yeah.
It's a very strange word.
You know, I heard that. Yeah.
What this is.
I can't remember.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
I had a friend that we were driving in a car, and he loves this. I love this song, King Justice. I go, no, that's Can't Touch This. And
Oh my
and
gosh,
but he
Justice
thought,
is
did you ever?
No, but that's just hilarious.
Okay,
Yeah, that's super.
And you guys
Get
didn't.
it taken away.
No, I just wanted you guys to be able to hear it. How about you, Alan?
What about me?
When growing up, did you ever have anything that you were sure was something, and then everybody told you it was pronounced different?
Well, I thought
So many
fairness was a
things.
thing. I thought justice was a thing, but let's not get heavy.
Oh no, no! Oh my gosh! Kick him out! You're not coming back next week.
Give Hamlet your mic.
You're Debbie Downer. We're gonna call you.
Womp womp.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
So anyway, it's supposed to be 19 real degrees tonight. 19 real degrees. Yeah, yeah.
No, I'd love to go out when it's the coldest is like 12 degrees, I go out first thing in the morning.
I do too.
And I
Really?
go out there and jump into it. You know?
Wow.
I do too.
Yeah, love it.
Naked.
I meditate. I spend 10.
He really is naked. That's what he said.
Did I say that?
No,
what you
he
said.
said
You
jump.
said what?
He
You
said
said it to
jump
me.
into it. He said it to you with his eyes.
I don't know. Oh, wow.
Okay, so the rooftop,
Happening on the other side of the
That's how she read it.
Secrets
the
revealed.
rooftop bar, the rooftop bar is coming to the Waters Hotel, and I didn't have footage prepared for today's show to show you. So subscribe, like us on YouTube, go to Instagram, and I'm going to put it up in the next few days so you could see what this rooftop bar, which is almost done,
That's
looks
so
like.
exciting.
Yeah.
Mike is
Yeah.
not working for the guy in the white shirt.
Who's the white shirt? Oh,
I
that's,
think it's Bob.
Oh.
The one just texted.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
with the bolo tie?
Well, I don't know. You got a white shirt too.
Oh, wait.
It helps if we turn it on.
Oh, really?
It's always super. Thanks,
Oh,
thanks, honey.
Yeah, keep looking online. Oh, all right, Bob. Tell us all the things you said from the beginning of the show.
Bolo tie.
Backtrack.
Dew Point and no, you know,
He goes outside naked. That's what I was
yeah,
saying.
that's right. Yeah, yeah,
Everybody
that's what he
knows
was
that now.
saying. Yeah,
Oh,
right.
Sorry.
if it's 12, you got to dive into it.
Yeah,
I
but
was swimming yesterday in the lake.
really?
60-degree water.
Are you
They
serious?
say that a cold shower in the morning
I'm
will
just
wake
looking
up
online to
every
see if
single
anybody else
cell
is
in your
saying.
body.
texted me.
Good for your
Oh,
bones.
really?
It-
Okay,
yeah,
well, I got to go online.
that too.
So anyway, the rooftop
Better
bar,
focus.
rooftop bar at the Waters. I got footage. It's going to be up in a couple days.
Ooh,
Subscribe,
footage.
like us
I
online.
love those tours you give, by the way, John.
Of
I feel like I've been places.
oh, really? In town? Well, there's a lot of people moving to town, and we're calling them digital nomads. So there are people that can either drive for work every few hours a day, or they are on the computer most of the time, or they travel twice a month.
Sorry.
Oh no, that's all right. You got the thing on. And so we're getting an influx of people that don't need to be here 5 days a week working. So it's bringing money and people from different states into this town. What do you guys think of that?
That's great. Great for them.
I think this is a national trend.
Yeah.
Because early on, you went to work because they had better bandwidth and better computers there. Now, you can have that computer,
Right.
so you don't have to move to the big city to work to make more money where all the prices of everything are so high.
Right.
You could live here and make
Yeah.
a bunch of money and then be super rich.
All right. So now Grace and Havla, go. You talk about that. What do you think?
Young
And
people.
yeah, the young people.
Gosh.
I'm just.
You want to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm
No,
getting
I
the
think
show on.
that's all you.
Okay. I don't know. I guess I would call myself a little digital nomad because I work off my computer all the
Yeah,
time.
that's true.
And I edit videos for people and
you
I
can
edit
trade.
photos. And
Yeah.
I mean, I still live at my parents' house even though I'm graduated, but like
Yeah.
I'm
You're gonna be traveling.
yeah, that's my goal right now. To do
Havla
like,
the traveler.
yeah. Hey, that's not bad. I've never
Not
heard
bad.
that.
Yeah, I never
That's
heard it. Just came up
That's
with
your
it.
rapper name.
Yeah.
Where are you going, girl?
That could be a podcast.
I'm going to Europe first. So
Yeah.
Greece, Italy, France, Switzerland, Amsterdam. No, I am.
Oh,
am
yeah.
That'd
So
be fun.
so excited. So that's my first trip, and then I want to go to like
Sri Lanka.
everywhere, basically.
We'll hook you up in Budapest.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Paris of the East.
Heck yeah. That's
All right,
awesome.
all right. So, what are we going on now? So, the Good Run. Tell us about GUDRUN. What do you know about that?
Oh, the Good Run.
yeah.
Me? I don't know a lot, but I know that it's a mountain biking event coming up this weekend.
And it's the
Celebrate
50
the anniversary, the
yes,
1 year opening
the
of
1
the
year
trails.
anniversary. Yes,
And
exactly.
it's a whole weekend.
It's a whole weekend. They have a race on Sunday
The
at Cedar
Northwoods
Glades.
Trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at Northwoods Trail.
15th to the 17th.
And it's
Is that
gonna
when
be
they're opening the new bike ramps? It's like
Yes.
the biking
Yeah.
park.
That's
I
what
read
I
about
was.
it in the paper.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is gonna be so much fun.
My
I'm so
birthday
excited for
weekend
that.
too. So
I know. I want to go to one of the bike shops and like rent a bunch of equipment and take
Yeah.
the boys.
Oh my
All
gosh,
right.
that'd be
We
so
don't have
much fun.
mountain bikes yet.
Can you ride a bike to the Big Dam Bridge? I keep hearing this rumor that you can ride all the way from Hot Springs to the Big Dam Bridge. Is that
That's not
Just-
profanity, right? That's the name of it?
Yeah.
is that a lie?
It's
Is that
well,
true?
which bridge are you talking
The
about?
Big Dam Bridge has a big circuit.
Stop yelling! I swear. No. The big damn bridge.
Has a big
Jeez.
circuit.
Which one is it?
And you're supposed to be able to ride from the farmer's market in Hot Springs all the way to the Big Dam Bridge. Am I the only one that's heard this? Am I naive
is it
again?
in
Yeah.
It
I don't
might
know
be
where the Big Dam Bridge is. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
They're done with
It's
it
just
yet?
funny.
But it's happening, right?
That might
Oh
go
my
down.
gosh.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you. So some shared reality.
I mean, I may be wrong though, but I'm
But
pretty
you've
sure
heard
they're
the same
continuing
thing.
to build-
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And you could even walk there, maybe.
Well, I want to talk about what Hot Springs may look like 20 years from now. But we have to do a sponsor break, and I want to tell you about this new place, Damons Outdoor. It's a part of the Benton Outdoor group. So I went up there to meet with them, and they are going to be out on Airport Road. And it's going to be called Damons Outdoor. So you're going to have 4-wheels, you're going to have tractors, you have lawnmowers, you're going to have 4x4s, you're going to have commercial equipment. Yeah, everything for the outdoors, go-karts and stuff. So it's on Airport Road, down the road. I'm going to show you a little bit of the stuff they're selling, but here's the great thing. On Black Friday, they're opening up at 10 a.m., and check this out. They're going to have a $100 cash giveaway, and they're going to have a little motorcycle giveaway, great for a kid, and they're going to leaf blower, lawnmower giveaways, free hot dogs and everything. And so you're going to learn a little bit about them in this video right there.
That's the only Black Friday I might go
Yeah,
to.
10 o'clock. So go to the 5 o'clock one and then head over to Damons Outdoors and let's check it out. All right, that's on Airport Road. You got to get out there, Damons Outdoor, yeah.
Free hot dogs.
And you can go to their website. Just type in Damons Outdoor to get the exact thing. Free hot dogs at 10
We'll all be
and
really
drinks.
hungry on Black Friday.
Yeah, might as well head down there. And what a party it is because they may have demonstrations and everything. And the next thing I want to talk about is what do you guys think we should do with the old rehab center in town?
What is
Amazon Fulfillment Center. Johan and I have
What's
already
that?
discussed it.
Wow.
Oh, really?
In the
Google
No,
database,
don't
Amazon
straight it, yeah.
headquarter something. We think a tech company should take it over and
the Navy
use it for-
Hospital,
It's huge.
Uh-huh. yeah. What are you gonna do with all that space and it needs so much work?
they should have left it
I'm gonna tell
the
you.
way it was.
I'm gonna have to borrow
Should
money.
have left it as a school.
Wait, no. Let's see if his mic works.
Is my mic working?
Yeah, we got the
Somebody tell
okay.
us.
That's
Yeah,
enough.
somebody will tell us online.
Here's what I think should happen.
Online. So you said still can't hear him, but you can hear him now.
That
So
was a long time ago.
oh, that was a long time ago.
So what I think should happen is this. Imagine everybody in town going, okay, why don't we do a town-wide ownership, in other words, buy shares in a multi-use facility that includes condominiums, medical rehab center, apartments you can buy, therapy, geriatric wing.
And speaking of that, I would like to bring on a guest now that just arrived. Yeah, come on in, Grace. If we just switch out for a bit here. This is Lee Campbell because he was talking about similar thing like that about.
That can work from the Arlington or any local
Yeah.
facility.
So what do you think of that, Lee? Because you were just talking about that.
I think
Hey,
so
Lee.
too. I think it should be a tech company.
Okay.
I think it's a perfect scenario for in-house homes where you have this massive tech company comes in, has in-house students and education and all this whole thing because it gives
Get
residential
closer to the mic.
opportunities downtown.
Right.
You know, all those people will be shopping and walking and experiencing the bike trails and the hike trails and all that stuff.
5,000 beds.
Okay, let me tell you, the only thing that's going to change that is the next 10 years we have self-driving and self-parking cars because there's no parking up there.
But yeah.
You know,
No parking.
yeah, it's
But
got to
it's going
be.
to be a residential place downtown in
Okay.
15 years.
You think so?
all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Wait, what building is
The rehab center, yeah.
The big ACTI.
All right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's been like a rehab
What do you
place where
think?
people come and
Yeah,
stay and-
ACTI, it's been training.
But you can't find an investor for it. I think it should be a city-owned by shares. Everybody invest. You want $5,000 worth? You want $10,000 worth? Multi-use facility. Because 5,000 beds. I don't know if there's a tech company big enough to push that many people.
What about restoring it? You know, restoring the heat and air conditioning, the
Well,
electrical.
I've heard there's a company
It's run
in
on
Little Rock called
boilers, isn't it?
Curtis
Yeah, I
Stout
think so,
that
yeah.
comes in and basically can revamp that whole thing.
We're assuming that can be done.
It can.
Well, I
I'm
think
sure
the
it can.
current
Yeah.
it's something astronomical like $50,000 to heat and cool right now a month.
Wow.
I mean, it's-
Unbelievable.
It has to
That's
be
what I
updated.
was wondering. So many
Expensive.
people come in and say they're going to invest, and they come in and they realize, and
this
they
is
get out.
over their head.
See, but it's-
Exactly. That's I'm kind of thinking that's how it's going to be.
But if you look back,
but
when
medical art's
when we lived
smaller.
in San Jose, Johan worked at Google, and they shuttle you in.
Yeah.
From so like it takes
That's
care
true.
of the parking. They want you to live there, so part of it could be almost residential or at least beds and showers and things like that. And then lots of recreation close to downtown. They feed you. It was a great place.
Yeah.
Google, take it over.
Yeah, and but it got awful expensive to move there, which may happen to us 25 years from now. Good problem to have. So, Lee, tell
That's why
what
you want to buy early now.
tell what you got going on coming up in town at
Also,
Freedom.
Well, I got the charity poker event coming in this weekend. So
All
we're
right.
bringing in people from Vegas and LA.
Uh-huh.
We're showing them a great time, and then we're also doing a fashion show in the back.
Right.
So we got all the local boutiques coming in.
So
and
these
doing
people may come in from Vegas because it's a
Well,
lot cheaper than Vegas, right?
Well, they're opening a brokerage, and they're opening a title company. Just launched in the last couple of days. So we're already bringing in businesses.
Oh, okay.
Just from this trip.
Wow.
And so
Move closer to the mic,
there's
yeah.
a big sell on for Hot
Yeah.
Springs right now if you do it and do it right. I mean, this is one of the most attractive places in the country when it comes to investment because of the potential.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and you got all these indicators that are starting to happen that if you opened it, and John knows as well as I do, we've been in business here a long time, 20-something plus years, and there's always been a hope that there's this movement that's going to start to happen to bring Hot Springs back to its glory days. Well, just in the last about 5 years,
Right.
has it really started to kind of pick up, and so
That's when we moved here 5 years ago.
what?
Yeah.
It's because of you.
Yeah,
that,
but
I
you
move
know,
and the
yeah.
town's booming.
See,
brought the
thank you,
smile,
Lydia.
right?
Yeah.
That vibe.
And now we got a
Every
co-host.
person that comes to this town says,
Which is what?
this town has such potential.
I know, potential.
All say
Well, downtown, his potential is not yet reached, but boy, what a difference from 10 years ago.
Well, I just left the Envision Community Project.
Oh, that was
So
tonight.
that
Yeah,
was
I've
tonight,
been to
and so
just
that's
one
the
of
third
those.
of the thing. And this is a 25-year extensive plan that the
Yeah.
city is going to vote on to take in.
Mm-hmm.
And they ask a lot of great questions. But
do.
one of the things that I told the head guy tonight, I was like, look, y'all missed one thing out of this whole thing that y'all didn't ask the question, y'all didn't get out of this whole thing, is that the biggest thing about this town is this 5-month lull called the winter economy.
Yeah.
And so if you've got people that are massage therapists, waiters, this, that, all
Right.
the tourist people that lose their income during this 3 or 4 month,
Right.
5 month sometimes lull, they get desperate. They do things, they jump ship, they do this. And small businesses have to save anywhere from 25 to 30% of their money just to survive the winter.
Right.
So they can't invest in their bottom line. So I asked the guys, I says, where's the city leadership when asking, okay, what are we going to ask for tax incentive wise for winter businesses like hotels to add hot tubs or this or that? Let's bring back the namesake of this town. Hot
Yeah.
Springs,
Sure.
Spa
That's a
City.
really good.
You know,
I'd
that's a
still like
really
to
good
see the
point.
Majestic have fountain,
Oh, yeah.
have hot tubs. You're from Barton Springs in Austin. They have that, right?
I mean, we came here because we liked hot tubs in Budapest.
Mm-hmm.
So I said they have them in Hot Springs. Like, where's that? You
What's
know?
the number one question people ask when they come here? Where's the water?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Where's
That's
the
a
outdoor
great
water?
idea.
What
Yeah.
you know,
You
like,
know?
I'm not gonna
It's
become a
so
real estate
healing.
agent.
The water's
It
what
is.
draws people
It
here.
is.
Of
If,
course.
if you think about it,
Water's what
100
draws.
years ago today, 1919, the call to fame to Hot Springs was a
Yep.
million bass a year.
Yeah.
That was then. They were traveling here by horse
Sure.
and
Didn't
by,
our
and by
license
tractor.
plate say we
Spring
bathed the
training
world?
for the
They did.
baseball
Did
players.
it? Yeah.
see,
Simone
yeah.
Biles was here a
Yeah.
few years ago.
Well, I
Just
mean-
everyone comes specifically for the
That was it. They
baths.
didn't come
Anyone
here in
is
the summer.
anyone comes
So
for the
what?
baths.
80% of the water goes down the drain now.
Well, I don't know. We got to find out. I don't know if
We
it's
do need to
80.
find that
The
out.
vast
Y-
majority.
A good
They
amount.
they cover it so it doesn't get
Well, this is what I found-
infected. Is
what I
that
found-
right? They
what I
don't.
found out
What's
they
the
do,
reason?
They geothermal heat a lot of the public or a lot of the government buildings.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So they use a lot of that for that, especially during the winter.
Hi, Momo.
But this is the thing.
I did.
Hey, Grandma's
You know,
watching.
if you don't take on and solve this problem,
Mm-hmm.
all this advancement is not going to work because it's just going to stay winter. It's just going to stay summer. You know, if you don't bring in the namesake of this town, which I believe is the hot springs and the spas, and
Yeah.
equalize and
Yeah.
stabilize
Right.
this community,
Yeah.
Yeah.
man, that's what's going to bring it.
You know, it's very important to look at what has happened to towns this size in their development arc and to try to avoid the major pitfalls because some of us have lived in places where it was laid back and nice and sweet and everybody knew everybody. when
That's
you
my
moved to town.
concerns, my
Then
worries.
later, you
That sounds
say,
like
"Well, I gotta
Austin,
get
right?
out of here because,
Exactly.
there's, you know, I can't live here anymore.
So we got to regulate
Right.
growth to
Right.
a point. Yeah.
Yes.
Infrastructure and development.
Well, you only got 4
and
lanes
trade
through
on the
Central.
roads,
There's
and so
yeah.
That's another problem. The roads.
Yeah.
They're too small for
Yeah,
that
it's-
much.
So,
That big of a growth,
Johnny,
like Austin.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Austin, what happened
that's
to
a good
Austin, we were so on top of controlling growth in that town, and then all of a sudden it got out of hand, and to this day, it's the #1 place.
And
in the
Hot
country.
Springs just got voted #1 place in the nation to travel to. It's
that's
not
right.
like people aren't
But
learning
how many
about it, as
people do you know? I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was going to say, how many people you know moved here from Austin because they couldn't take it anymore?
Well, yeah, because eventually go, I can't handle
I know
this place
people who
anymore.
moved here from Colorado because they couldn't take it anymore.
So if you lived in
hope you
Colorado or
find
Austin, why
water.
don't you just
Right.
text
Take
in
it
on our
anymore.
show right
No,
now
I
on
think that
Facebook?
What we don't realize here when we live here, when people have been here for a long time, is that for most people in most places, they feel that their life is speeding up every day.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
they can
Yeah.
barely handle it anymore, and the highways are going crazy, and they never see anybody they know anymore, and they can't have lunch with their friends because they got to make an appointment 2 weeks from now.
Right.
Between 3 and 3:30.
Yeah.
The quality of their life is shot.
That's my
Yeah.
concern
Okay.
with the
Yeah.
growth in Hot Springs
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's such a
Our
gem.
fabric of our community here is our most valuable thing.
Yep.
And when we lose that, then it won't be worth living here anymore. So we have to really be careful about explosive growth versus
Right.
a linear and a smart way to do it.
We do
So
have
as
a
a
good,
community,
tight knit community downtown, though. I
Yeah,
think.
you're
I
good.
Yeah.
think we have
Yeah.
one.
Oh,
We're
the Downtown
so on it.
Association is really great. Yeah.
What do you do to stop stuff like that, like from it growing too
Believe
large?
me, in Austin, we tried.
Yeah.
We tried to depress growth
Exactly, yeah.
because it was
Right.
such an attractive place.
Yeah. Don't tell anybody about Hot Springs. that'll get.
Now, what are you going to do?
Well, I think we do what we're doing right now is if you really go ahead of the game and you start really recruiting people here first,
Yeah.
what you're doing is you're setting the vibe.
Right.
And if we just leave it up to chance and people get the opportunity to come here and invest, you're going to get whatever kind of people. But if we go out and recruit these people and say, look, man, this is a great opportunity
Yeah.
for these types of
Right
businesses.
kind of people.
Exactly.
right kind
They
and
need
the
to
right
Well,
understand.
you have to be careful because everybody's welcome here. And that. What are you saying
just
that?
saying- I'm just
I'm
saying,
Meaning like
listen,
more
I'm
specific.
I'm
People
saying
are not
create the
gonna
vibe
industries.
early.
You don't
We're
want
in a
somebody who's going to
cusp.
come in with a bunch of money and take away the history.
And they
Start
don't
knocking
realize
down
That's what I wanna
buildings they don't
clarify,
understand
yeah,
are
yeah.
important to
So it's
Right.
important to protect that, and just like protecting the recharge zone for the thermal waters. If you don't
That's right.
protect the recharge zone, like Eureka Springs, the thing's gone.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, and
That's
then
right.
our core thing is gone. May as well change the name of the town.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So.
we live in a cusp. We live in a
Pottersville.
cusp right now.
Pottersville. It's a Wonderful Life going on Channel 4 at 5 p.m. tonight.
It's a
I
wonderful
think
life.
we live in a small cusp, a small window of time, the next 5 or say 8 to 10 years. that
Especially with AI.
our group,
Yeah,
our people
we
that
gotta
live
talk
here
about
right now
Yeah.
have a really great opportunity to set the vibe to this town for the future. And we'll look back on these times and what happened and what what decisions
Yeah.
we made and who we brought
And they'll
in.
play this episode of Hello Hot
That's
Springs.
right, that's right. Hey, legendary
Started here.
Business
folks.
owners,
Hot Springs Broadcast Network was started
Right.
people that
year.
invest and buy storefront properties downtown, like
That's
they're-
true.
We
It's
have seen
really
many-
Yeah.
We have, John, we've been around long enough to see many frames of time like this go
Mhm.
by already.
Yeah.
And many false starts. And we've seen the reasons that we had trouble growing and growing smartly. And so there's pretty much like anytime you're in Austin 25, this is the best time it ever was.
Right.
So right now you guys are here. This is the time
That's
of
right.
explosive growth. You're focusing on it. This is good.
Mhm.
But there have been frameworks
Manifesting
of this
that
going
business.
forward.
Sure.
That's a 5-year period.
We're all
We want
pioneers.
the
Yeah.
Davies and
Yeah.
Rosenbergs,
Yeah.
one after the next.
Right.
These phases go by. So we have to analyze what historically has happened and try to apply intelligence into.
And I don't
Well,
know
I
whether.
hope to see you all and work with you guys.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's the crystals or whatever, the magnetic, whatever, but this place draws some very smart
Interesting
people
point.
and some very crazy people. But also it draws pioneers. I mean, think of how many
Yeah.
people, look at what you guys did with Grace, with starting up your own, group. And
Theater
people,
group,
yeah, people said, I'm just going to start up a cinnamon shop or a pizza place or a
I
theater
always
group.
had Arkansas, Hot Springs is back when I lived in California because they said, "Oh, Arkansas." I said, "No, Hot Springs is cultured and
Yeah.
lovely and an art community." And I always had her back.
I got
Came
the
back.
same thing. I'm from California
Yeah.
as well.
I'll tell you what's changed though. Back in the day when we moved here in the 90s, you couldn't look up Arkansas on YouTube. I mean, it really wasn't out there.
have
Now you
YouTube
could
in
type
the
in Hot
90s.
Street. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They didn't really. That's it. I'm taking away your drink. What's in
We're the
this?
last state to have
made it.
computers. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
No, but I'm saying if you wanted, you were looking at a Bill Clinton commercial from the opponent where it showed these fields in a barn, and everybody thought that that's what. But now you could look up Hot Springs and.
Benefited from that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
We have benefited from that because
Tell us how.
it has kept us from explosive growth, which has ruined so many beautiful places.
true.
I'm just saying,
This place does move
true.
slow motion.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does.
It's
And
awesome.
there's
Few
lot of
years behind.
creative gears here.
Green
But
weed
there's
gears.
there's a thing about human scale, because
Yeah.
if you ask people where they want to live, what their ideal thing is, it's in a 1930s craftsman house neighborhood with a store in it.
Yes.
And they can walk to.
And Alan and I can
That is
sell you one
still
of those
my-
houses at Hot Springs
Very
Realty.
similar.
Hey, what's going to happen with the mall? Like, what
Something
a
needs to
reverse
happen.
of.
Oh, my gosh.
And I think that would be a living space.
Yeah.
Or a living space.
Yes,
Condominiums,
I saw
store
that.
thing,
Okay.
whole thing,
I saw
great.
something like that for the homeless, though. Someone was talking about
that's
making
not
it
gonna
a sort of shelter. Or something.
No way.
Probably not, but
No, there's just nothing.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
They're
it's-
not
it
even
looks
doing
beautiful,
the.
but there's nobody.
Well,
there.
look, every mall's having trouble in the United States. You're going to have mixed use, except in
Nobody
Austin.
goes to the mall
See,
anymore.
because it's
Boston,
always-
Boston or Austin?
Boston.
Boston,
Boston's-
Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston. I walked into a mall
Get
there.
my
You think it
car.
was 1984.
Really?
It was like
Yeah.
people with kids and
Well, a
strollers.
lot
They had
of-
Tesla dealership in the mall.
Really?
Oh,
Wow.
They got big money.
Well, the Mall of
Everyone
America.
goes to Goodwill
They got
now.
big money.
Yeah.
They got a different. They have Russian and Indian immigrants, lots of them, and
That's
they're
true.
really
That.
prosperous.
They really are doing well.
Interesting.
And when we come back, we are going to be talking about artificial intelligence, all right, Jane Lee? And but until then, we were going to look at a little clip from Ice on Ice. Who, raise your hand, have you been to Ice on Ice before? It is the coolest thing, right?
Yeah, it's
Because everybody from all walks of life and all ages, because it's $40 to go, which sounds like a lot, but you either get a diamond or get a cubic zirconia that looks like one,
nice.
and you get a drink, and we, well, maybe
Now
that's
we,
next
now we
episode.
did just sign a deal with Ice on Ice
Yeah.
this year. We're
Okay.
doing the fashion show next year
Okay.
before the prelim of Ice on Ice, and they're going to showcase all the dresses that they could get for Ice on Ice next
Oh,
year.
nice.
So we just
Nice.
networked
That's gonna
with,
be
with
beautiful.
Kimberly from last week.
Well,
Buy your
Kimberly's
Ice on Ice
wonderful.
dress
Yeah.
A year in advance.
Yeah, that's well. December 5th is Ice on Ice, and for those who don't know what it is, last year Brenda Brandenburg wrote something on Facebook about it, and I just said, "This is wonderful. Come in the studio right here and read it." And we showed some clips. This is what that video looks like. Where you get a drink, and that drink has an ice cube in it, and then that ice cube either has a very good-looking fake diamond, or 4 or 5 people get a real diamond. There's a lot of excitement in the air, and you felt really good while you were at this party. I couldn't put my finger on exactly why it felt so great. And then I read a friend of mine's post on Facebook, Brenda Brandenburg, and she had this to say. Let me share this with you. Last night was the first time I attended Ice on Ice at the Arlington, benefiting Project Hope Food Bank. I have to say that I think I smiled the whole time
that I was there. The Arlington Hotel looked grand and made me realize that as a city, we've got to do everything possible to support the efforts to sustain this wonderfully historic hotel. Attendees were from all walks of life, all colors, all religions, all sexual orientations, all ethnicities. People put aside any differences and they mingled with each other. People were dressed to the hilt. I saw some of the most gorgeous gowns, dresses, pantsuits, suits, and tuxes. It was obvious that everyone did their best to look stunning, and they did. It reminded me of how gussying up used to be. People were happy. They didn't care whether you were a Democrat or a Republican. They simply were happy to be there around each other. I saw more people hugging each other than at some funerals. There was sincerity. There was genuine friendship seen between folks. People were smiling. There was true elation on their faces. This doesn't happen very often anymore. People had fun for just a little while by unplugging from the stresses of our day-to-day lives. This event truly touched my heart. It gave me faith in humanity and reminded me that we're all seeking the same things: happiness, friendships, and love.
Happiness, friendship, and
Kinda
love.
tearing up
Oh
a little
my
bit.
gosh!
I want to go.
All right,
I
don't
can't-
tell anybody, but
Are
who
you gonna
online?
sponsor
Wait,
me to
don't
go?
don't. Yeah, you're gonna go. You're gonna go. We're gonna go as Hot Springs Broadcast Network. So here's the deal. No, say it out loud, but somebody a text in, message in on Facebook. What was that theme music in the background? Don't say anything.
Oh.
You know, yeah. Okay,
I
so
called you out on it though.
All right,
It
yeah.
demonetized our video.
That's it. Okay, so we're going to talk about artificial intelligence. Jaylene, the expert? No, go ahead.
I would not
So
claim to be
artificial
an expert on
intelligence,
that.
basically, the theory is that computers are now working at a higher speed to
Mm-hmm.
learn themselves. So instead of us teaching a computer and it learns, we're teaching a computer how to teach itself, which can speed up the process of developing products, self-driving cars, medicine.
And by the way, this is 5 years old.
Right.
Yeah.
What is it?
This information.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't even know the process that they're learning. We just know that they're learning and they're doing better than we are.
Exactly.
Yeah. On certain
That was-
areas, they're
Yeah, what factors are they looking at?
There was they taught a computer
yeah.
how to play the Chinese strategy game Go.
Yeah, that was
That was
cool.
in 2014.
Which, yeah.
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 They didn't think it
And they couldn't quite figure out how it was coming up with the answers that it was coming up
beating the
with.
best.
Wow.
Well, that's the weird thing because it's thinking outside the box. It's not thinking of. There's no, in theory, biases
I
behind
welcome my AI.
it. Yeah. Yeah. He wants a robot. He.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
there's. If you watch the
Yeah.
Jetsons, that's what
That's
it's
what
supposed
it's
to
about,
be about. You're
Yeah.
supposed to
Very
just have work 2
Hey,
hours a
Hey,
day.
if I get
you know?
diagnosed with something, I want Watson to do it. I
Yeah.
can believe Watson more than
Sure.
So
Well-
right.
But then that's the question of what happens. To
We've
all of
already
these
had a
people's
few-
jobs.
Watson's charger, though, I feel
Yeah.
like I want Dr. So-and-so. in
True,
there.
but
I like Tim
Do you know
Ferriss.
we've
is
already
the
ha-
top percent.
We've had a
going
lot of
to-
people saved. Sorry. We've had a lot of people saved, but recently nobody's announced this. That people have died because of artificial intelligence. The A320 planes with the pitch correction was the artificial intelligence was overriding the pilots.
Right.
Yeah.
But
And-
it was a sensor issue in the end.
It was a sensor, but
It was a single point of failure, which no engineer would do. Am I right, Bob?
yeah, I know. But we were depending on the artificial intelligence of
It's
the
all gonna
angle
be
of
a human
attack
error.
indicator. Yeah.
A human is not going to be able to create a perfect AI.
Right.
They need to let AIs
sense.
program AIs to fly.
Well, see that, but
AI
but in a
programmed
way,
that.
the AI was programmed. It thought based on the sensor that it wasn't sitting in there in the plane going, "This was wrong."
But-
It thought it was right.
But even in the I can't say it.
Simulation.
Simulation, it was crashing, and they said, "Well, is there something wrong there?" And then until it happened in the real world, and you said, "Hey, you know what?
So what is it about the human
I think
mind
it was
that
diving to
bypassed?
correct the stall too much."
What's that?
It was diving to correct.
Well, it
the
was
stall
getting
too-
faulty information,
Yeah.
but it wasn't
The sensor.
right. But
Yeah.
but why did the pilots? The pilots got faulty information in the sensor, and they knew that something was wrong in real life.
It
But
was too intelligent, and because of a single sensor, it caused
That's the
failure.
problem with AI in situations like that. They can't differentiate.
Yeah, because
They,
They
can't
can't.
make on
They don't have a
the- on
stomach
the
going,
spot
"I'm going down."
decisions.
Yeah,
Did they
yeah.
not override it?
Well, they could, but the training was done on an iPad for about an hour. So just learn this on the new A320 modification.
What's going to happen? Tesla's, Model 3, so.
Yeah.
But they're
But that
saving
leads
many
to the
more.
question of an AI actually overriding human,
Yeah.
control.
decisions,
Yeah.
right.
Exactly, deciding
Like
what
the
I'm
war
not
games,
going to,
yeah.
exactly, which
Yeah.
you would see in some movie. You
Yeah.
know.
And there's self-awareness. The first thing, the demarcation is from standard processing to AI, where it's learning from sensors in its environment, to self-awareness, which is something we're unable to figure out how the human brain is self-aware. But can a computer be? We have computers that are much more powerful than the human brain now, but they're still not self-aware. So is that going to come along, and what happens at that point?
Well, and also, where do you define self-awareness? If you can simulate self-awareness, yeah.
Even in the human brain.
Then
I don't
you
think
would have to
we've solved that
redefine
yet.
the word human as well.
Can we say they're self-aware when they start killing themselves, destroying themselves?
Or they start
Or we
building
send
stuff.
them. Yeah, they start building stuff without us
Feel-
asking. We figure you want
emotions,
this.
Because they're
feeling
thinking.
emotions,
You know, they're
probably
they're
be a
innovating.
good one.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, when they
that's
realize
scary.
we're actually the fleas on the planet.
No,
yeah.
they had about 2 years ago. They had two computers talking to each other. I don't know if that were AI,
Right.
and they started developing another
Their own
language to
language,
scare
yeah,
the crap
that's
out of
cool.
people. And they usually stop. Wait, we got what's the inside joke here, girls? Come on.
She's sad.
I'm sad. I don't know.
You're
Thinking
sad?
about it.
You're sad
About
thinking about it?
Robots taking over the world.
Well, AI might
The
figure out a
first
way to make you happy.
application Is friends for old people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
good
in
stuff.
Japan they're doing that a
Yeah,
lot.
that's
They
cool.
age. and-
Assistance.
iPad thing and
But
Yeah.
are these people going to be able to
Pros and cons.
afford
Because
that?
people are
That's my
so-
question. How is the control of these robots that we're all going to get gonna still be in the hands of the top 1%, are they going to have total control?
Well, look at a
of
Ring
these
doorbell.
robots?
There's your robot right there. It's looking. You can talk through it. It's looking at it. It's recording. It's letting you know when there's motion. So who can afford a Ring doorbell? Well, the point I'm making is I
Exactly.
think you're going to have all stratification.
Playing with technology, we're giving birth to Silicon Life, basically. But
That's true.
At the parallel time, yeah, we're just playing computer games, but at this parallel time, the field of genetics is overshadowing all of these developments.
My little $20 Wise just made a leap. It can recognize people now.
Oh,
It
right.
used to bother me when leaves were blowing or a cat. Now it's people. Did you
All right.
upgrade to that?
No.
Hey, Daniel, come on in and sit here for a minute because I got to adjust some cameras. Have a seat. Come on in. Come on in. Hello, everybody. Daniel. Have a seat right here, Dan.
Yeah, it's been pretty warm for you.
So we're talking
I think
about
Facebook uses facial recognition. That system is AI.
I like facial recognition. All the cameras.
So
It's
I'm
going to
good.
reduce crime, don't you think?
If you,
No.
I've read something recently. If you
I
have a
feel legendary.
license, your face is recognized.
Well,
Yes.
but they've been shown to be not accurate with minorities.
Well, I see a lot of.
The facial recognition.
Well,
can see that.
China's the biggest
Doing
system of
great.
this they're out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're testing it in certain villages right now, but they're looking at this national.
They're kind of a
program
cashless.
your score, your how much you're behaving score, and that gives you, you get a bus pass or not, depending on if you're, it's like your credit score. But
Yeah, it's like a good deed or a bad deed.
Yeah,
it's
isn't that
crazy.
cool?
That's
Yeah, I've
interesting.
researched that.
Speaking
It
of
is
a good
crazy.
deed, the Salvation Army Angel Tree's kicking off Saturday
Oh,
at the
nice.
Arlington.
500 points on the
Right?
That's right. You got a bus
Recognize
pass in
me.
China
Yeah,
today.
you get a bus pass in China.
Free.
Well, I
And they
mean-
have these observers that walk around
Yeah.
and look for people doing good deeds.
Yeah.
Well, that's
What?
cool.
Yeah,
It's
China's
like
a whole other deal.
like the police. What's it? Neighborhood
But they're-
neighborhood
but they're-
watch.
But they're good deed guys, or they're bad deed
Tell us
guys.
something.
They've done this
Tell
for
us what
years.
you
That's
got.
interesting.
What needs the world to know.
I guess I wouldn't worry too much. But
What inspires people to do positive
better,
things?
yeah,
You know,
that's
and,
cool.
and that, I
It's
like that part
interesting.
of it.
It's like the three levels of morality. If you're an infant, you're afraid to get punished. 90% of adults are, I have a duty to my church or family, and people will think bad of me. And then 10% of people are at the top. I have my own code of ethics that I have to live up to, and I
Yes.
I do things that are right for the planet. Just
Yes.
because it's the right thing to do.
that's how you
That's
should
where you
be.
want to, you can't paste morals on people. You have to.
And you
you
should
sure?
definitely
Is that-
not put that weight
is
on
that you?
children.
He
Are
said
you in
that.
the top 10?
He said he's there.
Okay, national.
Absolutely. Okay, so
Yep.
we need more people to.
I just want to
visit
ask
the old
Daniel.
people.
Daniel teaches at Flick Flack City, which is a gymnastics place. What do you think of the youth today that you're teaching? You teach 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds.
Nice.
They're a handful.
Yeah, a handful. Talk to
They
the
Taught
are.
my
mic there.
niece
Talk to
tonight.
the
How
mic
was
there.
it?
I will scoot forward.
Yes.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
I am
Kinda lean
John
down.
Cooksey's son, for those who do not know.
Oh, okay.
I teach at Flick Flack City. It's fun. I
Called
teach
Flick Flack?
Flick Flack City.
Flick
It's
Flack.
on Albert Pike. I did forget
Okay.
the address. I actually should know that because I work
It's right there
there.
by Cleo's and Andy's and Dollar General.
Dollar General. Andy's. Okay.
Yes, so I work there. I teach Monday to Thursday. It's very fun. The kids get to learn to flip. I do gymnastics and all that myself, so I'm actually teaching the kids from what I experience. And so
Good on you.
now it's pretty
Very
fun.
cool.
So what do you think of the young people in technology?
Oh wow. Yeah.
Wait,
Well, they
repeat
don't
that.
use the technology in
which-
his
which-
class.
Technology,
which
are they
tech-
on their phones a lot when they're
Are the kids on the phones or they flipping?
Not the younger ones.
Mhm.
Sometimes.
What's the oldest?
I teach kids older than me, which is kind of weird. It gets kind of iffy. Like I'm kind of like, the first couple times I was like, uh-oh. But then actually it's pretty easy because some stuff they can't do that they want to do that I can do. And so I teach them how to get better on that. And it's pretty easy. It's just simple friendship back and forth. Really chill. Most of the time nobody's on their phones, but sometimes you have a slow night and it's cold like it was tonight. What is it, like 40 degrees?
Yeah.
There wasn't that many people there tonight, and then the ones that were there were kind of lazy and tired. It was just a slow day. Not many people are really on their phones. Sometimes there's always that one kid in the
Do
background.
these 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds own cell phones?
You know, I'm surprised. Some of them walk in with Apple Watches, and I'm like, how in the world are y'all getting all this? And I was just surprised. I usually tell them to take all the Apple Watches and smartphones and put it over in the shoes.
He's got an Apple Watch, iPhone, and iPad. We've got about $2,500 worth of stuff right on.
I know. I'm like, you should go put that over there because you don't.
I got my first flip phone when I was 16.
I had one of them. I was so mad. My dad, all my friends had like the latest iPhone, right? I was like, can I get one? He said no. He gave me my brother's hand-me-down slide phone.
Oh.
And I had that for 2 years.
That's it.
That'll make you want to get a job on it.
Yeah, I went through that phase.
Is it, some schools are taking away all screen technology until the 5th grade.
Really?
I agree with
No,
that.
I think it was 15.
Yes.
Well, I have
Yes.
very limited use of screens in my classroom. It's very traditional.
Oh, good.
I have a projector, Elmo, things like that. But yeah, because we're writing things and
actually
reading
writing,
books and.
But like Lakeside, I know the bigger schools, they're transitioning to like, a lot of electronics and everything. I think there's like pros and cons to electronics, and it gets really complicated because, you can find good things that,
Yes.
You can use, but it can be overused or can be used wrongly.
Catching kids
and
watching
everything.
Netflix. And stuff.
Everything in moderation, right? And
Yeah.
and supervised when they're that young. But I think, I don't know. I think it depends on who you talk to. But there are so many benefits of, and they have to be literate in devices. It's so funny that we go and we sit down in the computer lab, and 5th and 6th graders have never used a mouse before. Because everything's touchscreen. They've always had the iPad and watch. And so we have to sit there and we do typing lessons and mouse lessons and things like that. And it's really fun.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's actually not fun at all. It's frustrating to me. But
I love that idea of not letting electronics into the classroom or any screens until 5th grade, though. I think that's so
I love
important.
the idea of these implanted devices where they can search the web.
right?
And nobody can tell because it's inside their
It's in
mind.
your
Glasses.
contact lens.
I've
or
seen
something.
that. That's
We're all
ridiculous.
Yeah.
talking about the social and information experiment aspect of this on our lives, but there's another experiment going on that hasn't been done before for an RF engineer like me. That is holding up microwave transmitters up near your brain all the time.
Right.
And that is something that I've lived with my entire life, working around high power RF fields, and I don't hold it up to my head. I mean, I'm very familiar with this stuff, and that's really a raw experiment to be putting the entire humanity
I was actually
through.
going to mention that when he was saying they're wearing Apple Watches and
Yeah,
stuff. That's like my
I
first
wouldn't
thought.
wear a
Just
watch
like, whoa.
that right into
Right.
your blood system
It's
like
just-
that. No way.
Yeah.
A lot of us do
exactly.
speakerphone though. Are we safe?
Is that-
Speakerphone's good. Bluetooth headset. no
Man,
good.
I have my phone in my pocket. You gonna make me?
What's the real on 5G though?
You didn't want to have children.
Is
did you?
5G dangerous or not? I don't know. I mean, I've been trying to find out about this.
4G is bad enough, right? 5G.
Right.
There's a whole pandemonium on the net about
Hey,
this right now.
Ritter's coming to town. Did you hear about the new fiber optics?
Oh, yeah.
Finally.
That's what they've been
Finally.
laying
Yeah.
in the ground
High-speed
all through
internet.
town.
Finally.
Finally, competition.
No buffering.
I'm not going to say
For-
you guys.
Now, I want to
Resort.
say we have Resort for this program broadcasting over, and they do great. We have no dropouts.
They are the fastest in town. Yes, they are the fastest in town.
I'm sure Resort's going to raise their game.
Exactly.
Let's
That's how it works
hope
with
so.
those companies. I'm sure they'll have it worked out between themselves.
We love healthy competition, though.
Yeah,
Free
please.
enterprise.
That's right.
Please.
Well, how fast is fiber compared to what we're using
They
right
said
now?
1,000 times
Fiber's-
faster.
Fiber's the
1,000
backbone
times
that carries
faster.
all the TCP/IP traffic. That's
Yeah.
what the internet is, TCP/IP. Nobody knows what the internet is. I go into a classroom and go, nobody can tell me what the internet is, and then I tell them what it is, a set of communication rules for computers.
Sure.
But 5G is a extensible system. We can keep migrating up going from 4 to 5G. 5G is another experiment,
Game changer.
bio-experiment on microwave exposure for human beings because it's operating in gigahertz ranges that have not traditionally been used for communications before, and these are like flashlights in that they only go line of sight, absolutely just line of sight, really just line of sight, like through wet bricks, no. So they're going to have a lot of microcells around in neighborhoods relaying this high density traffic into these areas. So there's going to be a hell of a lot more ultra high frequency microwave radiation around.
Would
So-
you
Wow.
recommend putting your phone on airplane mode then when you're sleeping and
Yes,
such
I
like
would say,
that?
I would say put your router on a light timer and turn it off overnight. So at least for 8 hours you won't have the router on.
Interesting.
So let me ask you this question, because I've been researching this one company, and they're talking about it's called Energius. And what they're doing is that, of course, every microchip has a piece of crystal in it.
Yeah, of course.
It's quartz crystal in
Yeah.
it. Well, what they're doing is they're putting a different type of quartz crystal in it that's what's called prednisone or something like that, where it flexes. And so they're putting this microchip in it, so your phone will have one of these in it. Samsung, all these big companies already signed
Yeah.
on. And so what it is that while it's in your phone, I heard 5G is going to send out a radio wave. And while it's in your phone, it charges it because that prednisone crystal vibrates and creates charge, right? And so they've got like 250 patents and like 43 more pending. but it's what they're doing is each microchip will be upgraded, and then as they said they're going to roll it out in 5 to 8 years. Well, is the 5G the rollout? Because they have to have all these different stations everywhere. But what it does is it completely takes cords away from all things. So it wipes out cords from all electronic devices.
You have a 20 on there.
Highly unlikely.
Get it out.
He's got it on
Get it
airplane
out.
mode. I didn't own a microwave for years because I had.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
get it out of here.
I don't own a microwave either.
Daniel, thank you for dropping by.
Hey, CD.
Check them out at Flick Flack City.
Radio waves.
Yeah, all of this is on radio waves. It's all radio waves.
Everything.
Now I heard
Right,
we
we're-
could have 5G right away if we just let China give us 5G, right? Yahweh.
Ahead of us on everything.
But everyone's scared of letting China give us all 5G.
I would take that same crystal and maybe some incense and charge yourself up every morning and say, forget
All right,
this.
so do you,
Is it called Presidone? Is that what it
All
is?
quartz crystals do this.
Yes.
so what do we think
What's
of the?
difference? Why they?
They patented a trade name because they're cutting it a different angle.
Exactly. Back to that quartz
Okay.
crystal thing really
Yeah,
quickly.
tell us. I was going to ask you because we are the
There's
home of that.
supposedly 2 huge quartz crystals in the whole world, and all of them, each one holds all of the information in the world, and one of them is said to be here in Hot Springs.
Well, okay, I could buy that, but the part about all the but the part about all the information in the world. Come on, dude.
Well,
What?
because
All right.
let me finish this.
That's
Let
like
me
Superman.
let me
It's like
finish where this is going.
Is there
We are
Lex
we are
Luthor accurate?
energy.
Superman. Oh.
Let me finish what I was
Let her
saying.
finish it.
We are energy. We are composed of energy, and bear with me on this. You can send out your energy, right?
That's true.
Okay.
That is true.
Quartz crystals are clear. They're a clear channel. You can send out energy into the quartz crystal. So, if we did send out all of our wisdom into a quartz crystal, or it collected it, the collective unconscious, and it stored the collective unconscious, therefore it could hold all of the information in the world.
So could
If you need
so
me
could
for
a
the metaphysical,
supercomputer
I got
though,
you.
right? But supercomputers are made of crystals, so you could
Is
also.
it a quantum?
And now
computer
it's
made
in
of
a cell
crystal, though?
phone. That's
I don't know.
insane. I've never heard of that.
All computers have a clock. We call it a clock. It's a time base. It's an initial oscillator that provides reference signals that drive all communication to all the ICs in the computer.
Made of
So
crystal.
it all starts, with a little. I'm thinking of quartz. And by the way, it's called the piezoelectric effect. You squeeze a quartz crystal, electricity comes out, electricity in, and it vibrates according to the size of its volume.
Yeah.
This is what's different about quartz than any other thing.
That's right.
Okay? And that's why everybody here has pieces of it on them at all times.
Right, and Hot Springs mines. We got the Coleman mines, right?
That's right.
And so, where do they do with that crystals, other than for display stuff? Do they use it for industrial anymore, or do they manufacture artificially?
It's a hardness of 7, is it? So it's pretty darn hard. It can be used for cutting all kind of stuff. But this was a strategic resource here during the Second World War because all radios, to get on a channel, to get on
Crystal
frequency,
radio, yeah.
had to have a crystal in there, which I was giving a lesson the other day. I took apart a Second World War crystal, little pieces of metal suspending a little square piece of cut.
Did they mine those in Hot Springs?
Oh,
those-
absolutely.
Really?
Now,
That's
is
so
it?
cool.
Now it's
That's
also
so neat.
sometimes called silica, right? Or is it? That's why they
Silica
call it Silicon
is
Valley.
I'm not sure quartz is made of silica.
It's not. Silica is actually an atom.
It's beach sand.
It's yeah.
But
It's
in
compressed.
crystal, right?
in some, yes, and it's also an opal. Opal's mostly silica.
Okay.
Yeah, but
So
all-
you see, when you move to Hot Springs, the kind of conversations that go
wealth
from
of
going
information.
from left to right. Well, whether
But
you're into
crystals are huge here, though.
yeah. Oh no, it's a big thing.
There
Yeah.
are lots of levels.
Yeah. I mean, it's
a
amazing
healing.
because
It's a healing.
if you guys remember 25 years ago when you mentioned crystals or yoga, both were considered new age. And it was like, and so you had a lot of religious organizations was like yoga and crystals and but yoga is mainstream now, but the Namaste thing 25 years ago was like, whoa,
I
you
can
know.
see
We were ridiculed hard at our
Yeah,
relax.
yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. When you had that store, yeah.
Dude, that was-
Really?
and
Yeah.
we got
I'm so
my ex-wife
blessed or
would get called a
lucky.
devil
Yeah.
worshiper because she was doing yoga.
Yeah.
Weird experience.
Yeah.
We come back 8 years later, and the same people.
It's totally.
Well, this is a weird thing. We come back, we seen the same people that used to call us that, teaching meditation and yoga. We come back 8 years later, and they're teaching it at the church. And I asked what happened, and they're like, "Well, we seen it on Oprah."
Well, thank you, Oprah. Thank you, Oprah Winfrey.
Thank you. She
Yeah.
taught well.
Yeah.
But that's the mentality right here in a little
You
bit
get-
of those ways. You know?
We're not allowed to talk about
Yeah, we're not going to be talking, but you know what's neat is that people are coming together more than they're coming apart with that kind of thing. I know there's people are getting understanding, and I do think the internet helps with that. I want to thank everybody for being here because next week we'll have a rotating bunch. And Jaylene, do you have any announcements or anything coming up with you?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Come by Historic District Antiques if you'd like an antique.
Yeah,
That's all I've got.
there you go. And then Lee, when is your event coming up?
It's Saturday night from 6 to 11. If you don't have a ticket, you can go online to the events page and find it.
And tell us the events page is $50 a ticket.
It's a Freedom United gift to gift.
Okay.
Just look it up online on Facebook, or just come down to the Freedom United Salon and get a ticket.
Freedom United Salon.
I get my hair cut there. They're really good.
They're really good. And Bob, what do you got coming up?
See me always mentioning Hot Springs Music Festival, 25th anniversary.
Yay.
First week of June, end of May into June, and this will be the real big one.
Right. And that's May to June. That's coming up. And then Alan and I have a group that we work out in the gym in the evening. Tell people about that. about Planet Fitness. About what time?
What, 8, 9, or 10?
Usually 9:30.
It's
Come by.
$10 a month for Planet Fitness.
Yeah,
$10 a month.
It's really
really
good.
good.
It's
Yeah,
a good deal.
and so we come out there and we just work out and chat about all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So if you want to join the, pretty much you'll find us there 5-6 days a week in the evening. Yeah. And Havla, let's talk about what you got.
The Good Run Festival this weekend is coming up.
G-U-D-R-U-N.
Yeah, and it's located at Northwoods, and there's also a race at Cedar Glades connected to Northwoods on Sunday, and it's going to be an awesome festival.
Now, do they divide it up like a woman, men, older, younger? Like,
yeah. You
what
go,
category? You're obviously in
I'm
Older man?
females. It's going to be like
an older man. Okay.
that would be fun.
You would trounce the older men division.
Yeah. Go on.
No, it's their divisions are different. I'm going to be in the 18 to 29-year-old division, and so they do split it up to men and women, and it's going to be interesting because you're doing the whole entire Cedar Glades route and the Northwoods route, and it's like 15 miles or something.
I was
It's
going to
gonna
ask
be
how
fun.
long it was.
Yeah.
Is it however you identify or what you objectively look like?
I'm not that.
That
informed
we're
in
not even getting
IBCS
into those.
does that.
It goes into the politics and religion. We're not discussing that. Yeah,
It's going to be so much fun, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. They're going to have bike rides for just people to come in.
Just
and
to come
ride.
by and get exposed little 5, 6, 7 like your brothers were when they were little, got exposed to it. And now they're doing it.
Yeah, it's awesome. So come by.
Northwood Trails is like it's a big thing around the country.
I know.
We have it here.
I know.
Is that a new pump track they put in the
At
front?
Cedar Glades,
Yeah.
there is.
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
it's at
tell
Cedar
everybody
Glades.
what
Oh,
that
that's
is.
right.
So a pump track is like a downhill type thing, and you really just pump the rhythm of the bike to get all the way through.
You learn
Right,
how to-
but
You learn how to really go over the moguls. And
was that the one that has the little practice track though? Yeah, it's like a
So it used to be
skateboard.
practice track there, and they're
Yeah.
just now building it, and it opens this weekend as well.
It's going to
Yeah.
be great.
Yeah, those things are
Anybody
fun.
have any updates on the big trail from Little Rock on the small gauge railway coming here?
Yeah, it's called the Southwest Trail, and it'll be open in 2 months. No.
You want to see that in the paper.
No, it actually is going to be open probably within 5 or 6 years, maybe, or they'll start doing it in sections.
Huge influence
Yeah.
in this town, and those people drink beer and eat carbs.
Yeah, what the bike
All the way
riders?
up the
Yeah,
trail. 'Cause you
yeah.
can- I heard you can camp on it, hike on it, and do the whole thing.
Oh, you
I'll be
can?
starting a portable
That's
beer
awesome.
stand and selling
Portable
pasta.
beer
Yeah,
stand.
yeah.
That would be.
What's that?
That'd be smart.
I'm genuinely hoping that Arkansas continues to become one of the best places for mountain biking because it's so good for you and it's good for your body and
That's
for your
right.
mind. and
That's
everything.
true.
I love it, and I meet so many people moving here and coming here for Northwoods and Cedar Glades, and it's
An
just
injection
awesome.
of young
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Have you ever wrecked?
That's right.
Yes, I broke my collarbone.
Good.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at that smile. You know,
Goodness gracious.
Oh man. Yeah, dang.
I smashed a couple times the front last year.
It's good. I had
to that
surgery on it. A year ago, just a few days ago, was like my anniversary and everything. But I'm totally fine. I'm back on the bike, and I am going to be racing at AMBCS next Sunday, this Sunday. So
Yeah.
I'm excited.
And when you get older, you'll be able to relive those memories of the broken bones. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I remember that one.
Mercy.
Oh.
I've never broken a bone.
I haven't either.
So lucky.
I don't
No, I know. But you got about 5 there, football player. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
surgeryed up.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us for the.
To mention my thing.
Yo, Lydia.
Oh my gosh! Oh! Wait, that was
I'm
awful.
writing them
I know,
down.
I
like,
know.
okay,
Plug away.
I think I'm going to mention
Thank you, everybody, for go for it.
All right, until
That
next
was
week.
terrible. It's like show and tell, and they,
I know, I'm
and they
sorry.
skip you.
What is it?
This Saturday, the kids are singing at the Angel Tree Cook-Off.
All right, tell us who
The
the kids are.
kickoff.
Tell
The
us who the
chili
kids
cook.
are.
Gospel Light Christian School Celebration Choir.
Okay.
The choirs that my mom has. It's not just our school kids, but it's the first time you can get the kids' names off the tree to purchase the presents for that otherwise wouldn't have Christmas.
And tell everybody who your mom is and what she's been doing for years.
Sonia Chittum. She is a choir director. She's part of the Hot Springs Music Club with Mr. Dr. Bolton. They just had a performance on Sunday at the Westminster Presbyterian. But she does a celebration choir on Monday nights at Gospel Light Church just for any kid who wants to come.
From any church and any school, or
a lot of homeschooled kids come. It's free. It's fun, and you get to be a part of a couple performances in a year. And we get invited to stuff like this every year. So that's at the Arlington this Saturday at
11 a.m.
11 a.m.
Okay. Keeping the
Yeah,
kids out
11
late.
p.m.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go on.
Bringing in the new year. I love Hot Springs Music Festival,
Mm.
and Lynn has started the book club. We had our first meeting a couple weeks ago with Mozart's Starling, and this coming December 2nd, Monday night in the Raw at 6:30, we're singing Songs of
In the
America.
Raw?
I love it.
Yeah, we're meeting it in the Raw.
You've never been there?
Well,
meeting
I'm
it in
with
the
Bob.
Raw.
We're going out every morning
that
when
guy
it's
out.
12 degrees.
Yeah.
Jumping in the lake.
Great
Okay,
Impossible
Songs of
Burger there, though,
America.
by the way. Yeah.
What?
Great Impossible Burger there.
It is so
It's so good.
Yeah, I like the Beyond Burger, but hey,
Yes.
we're all different, you
Talk
know.
about in the raw. I love that place.
Oh,
so
yeah.
much.
tasty.
So good.
They need to be a
Smoothies are
sponsor.
good too.
Yeah. Oh, and really, they sort
they
of
were,
are. I
yeah.
do some barter with them. Yeah, she's great, Marcy. But most importantly, look, if you're eating a lot of meat and then you're like, I got to get off meat for a while, just go down there every day for lunch.
Maybe
They
it's
got something.
Mondays or something.
And I interrupted. Go ahead.
Last thing, the Quapaw Prospect luminaries are coming
Oh,
up.
they're coming back. Okay.
We have
We gotta do
3
that.
rain dates this year. We are putting
We're
them on.
doing it no matter
It's-
what.
It's not going to happen.
All right.
It's December 7th, Saturday, December 7th,
Mm-hmm.
or the 8th if it rains,
Mm-hmm.
or the
9th?
13th, the 14th. We have 3 dates.
Oh,
But
right.
we'll
It's
know
going to
when.
happen on the 7th.
Well, no win because there's little candles on the road, right?
Yeah.
And if you
yes.
pay some money, you can go in some of the
You don't have
houses.
to pay. Oh,
can go
we're
in their
not doing
houses
the
for
home
free.
tours right
Oh,
now. Yeah, well.
What are
we
you
gotta
going to line
make
up
the money.
in
No.
front of a house and go, you want to get in this house? Pay me
we,
some
we
money.
are thinking about a home tour very soon, and we're also thinking of a mobile tour that you can like pay a couple bucks for the app and
Oh, that'd be
walk
cool.
walk the neighborhood and hear different things. The board's well working on it.
And let's not forget that very soon we're going to be talking about the Christmas lights at Garvin Gardens.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's crowded.
That was next shows, but they are really nice. Yeah.
Something's being built there. Somebody donated $3 million to build. I just read about it.
Something else, huh?
At the Garvin Gardens?
Something else at the Garvin
Hey,
Gardens.
what's that
and
big
it's-
thing behind Lowe's? It looks like a big column.
Is that
That's
gonna be
the
a
water,
Tower.
Got a new water tower?
For
Yes.
Oaklawn.
How come I don't know anything about
No,
that?
it's not for Oaklawn. No, I think it's
think
for
it
the
is for
city,
Oaklawn.
though.
Oh,
Yeah.
I heard it was for Oaklawn.
Yeah.
I heard it was
Wait,
for their
what is
new
it for?
hotel
It's huge.
coming in, so I don't know.
So do we get water from Lake Hamilton or Lake Washita?
Oh, that's another episode.
Like, I'm exhausted. I gotta go home.
The 4 hours later, right?
We get
But
it
you
from
know,
the
I
crystals.
I just want to say that people, yeah,
It's
there
real,
you go.
man. Let me know if
Yeah.
you'd like some.
She's gonna bring in a crystal with all the information of the universe.
I'll give you that healing power, girl.
That's true. Go, girl. Well, man, it's great to have everybody here this week. And, you know, if you're thinking of moving into town, this is a place to come on into because there's just so much going on and so much to do. You're never bored here, right? Because it's a,
If you're bored here, it's you.
yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Because
Well,
there's,
I have to turn on the TV to find out what's going on and see if John can motivate me to get out and see something.
Oh.
He does those little tours, and I go,
Yes.
hey, I want to go there.
yeah. Or what worries,
Hot Springs.
what worries me is people go, oh, I was going to go, but I'll just watch it on TV. But no,
Yeah.
I think more people actually will then go to them. You know.
Get everything that's worth going.
Well,
That's
hopefully,
what
you
we'll
know.
have to talk about one time is the virtual
do a treasure map.
reality.
Yeah, treasure,
Leave
buried
stuff- leave
treasure.
stuff, you know, make people find it.
Yeah, I
Just
was
like-
thinking of doing. Then
sort
we
of
have
interactive.
clues on the show.
Yes.
Yeah, I have. I thought of that. Started with it. Yeah.
That's cool.
And sort
Yeah.
of Hot
All right,
Springs
treasure.
map thing.
Yeah, I had to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'll show you my notes on that because I came up with a whole idea of the clues and stuff.
That'd
Yeah.
be so-
The problem is you can't have any of your friends or relatives or people you know
there'd be a
win
select
if you're No, what I'm trying to say is like, so none of the relatives or friends of people on Hello Hot Springs or Hot Springs Broadcast Network would be able to participate. But here's the problem: we're all 1 degree of separation in this town. Like if I don't.
What if you're on a break? What if you're not friends anymore for a while?
Yeah, because
We
it's
were
like
on a break.
Alan won
I
the
can't
gold.
with this
yeah.
guy.
Hey, we were
I
on a
quit this
break.
guy for a week.
Yeah.
On a treasure hunt.
Yeah, but I mean that's something about this town. We're all 1 degree. If you know someone I don't know, we all know somebody in connection.
Circles like so over.
Yeah, that's great. And Grace, Alejandro, thank you for coming tonight, and thanks for everybody on Hello Hot Springs. We will see you on another episode, 7 o'clock. We'll have a slightly different group of people next Tuesday night. In the meantime, please support our sponsors and like us on Facebook. What else you want to say?
We need to have a closing line now.
Okay, ready? Solid. I don't know what that was the old Mod Squad thing, yeah. Spay and neuter. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Soundtrack on the way.
Oh, you ruined it. Yeah.
You guys just ruined it.
Oh.
What?
No,
I
that
just
was.
said Anne of Green Gables.
Yeah, that was the quiz question for today.
Oh, I thought
And then you win. Yeah.
Nobody's still watching.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
alright.
What was that one that Dan Rather? What was that one that
Hopefully whoever
Dan?
heard me wins.
What was that one that Dan Rather say at the end?
I don't know. Good night, good news.
No. What did Dan Rather?
yeah.
He said something that was a
Can
little
we do
odd.
something from
Be
Anchorman?
kind to
That'd be
someone.
funny.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Caring is caring.
Be kind to everyone.
Out
because
now, bound
everyone's
cow.
having
In
a
a world
bad
where you
day.
can be anything, be kind.
Yeah.
I like
And
that.
we're gonna end with that.
And use your crystals.
Yes. We're going to end with those words, be kind and use your crystals. Yes. Thanks for joining us. And thanks, Houston, for doing a great job. Houston, pop in the camera for a second and switch yourself so you can see yourself.
Jeez.
Wait. You didn't switch yourself on camera. Yeah. Switch yourself on camera so you can. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's on it.
Well, stick your head right in front.
Well, don't put your finger in the
There you go. That's it. Yeah. And thanks for Grace and Alejandro coming and the whole team. And we will see you next week on Hello Hot Springs. Woo!
You are watching the Hot Springs Broadcast Network.